You ever have those mornings where you walk into the shop, flip the lights, and just listen to the hum of the transformer for a second? April 20th, 2026. Welcome to the TigerDen Daily. We're kicking off the week with everything from robots that weld better than your cousin Vinny to how you can get 1500 bucks for tools without having to sell a kidney.
I think Vinny's pride just took a hit, Tiger. But seriously, $1,500 for tools? That's like three-quarters of a high-end table saw or a lifetime supply of those tiny mechanical pencils everyone loses.
It's a game changer for the guys just starting to get their boots dirty. But before we get to the free money, we've got to talk about the sci-fi stuff hitting the metal shops. Cirrus Automation just updated their HF pre-weld inspection system. Basically, it's a set of digital eyes that catches a seam gap or a bad fit up before the arc even strikes.
So it's basically a nanny for pipe welders?
More like a guardian angel for your margins. I remember building a stainless manifold years ago, spent 6 hours on the fit up, or so I thought. The second the heat hit it, the whole thing pulled like a cheap suit because one gap was a hair too wide. I ended up with 60 pounds of very expensive scrap metal. This tech makes sure you aren't lighting money on fire before you even begin.
Speaking of lighting things on fire, what's this about humanoid robots in shipyards? I've seen the movies. It usually ends with the robots deciding they're the bosses.
They already think they are, Alex. No, the South Korean shipyards are actually putting these assistants into the tight spots. Imagine having to weld a bulkhead in a space the size of a kitchen cabinet where it's 110 degrees and your spine is twisted like a pretzel. These bots are taking the body breaker jobs. It keeps the master welders on their feet longer because they aren't destroying their knees in a crawl space.
I can't exactly tease you for being old school if the technology is literally designed to keep your joints from creaking. But let's shift gears to the money. You mentioned a grant?
Yeah, Bring Back the Trades is doing something incredible. They've got these monthly grants, $1,500, specifically for apprentices and students to buy tools. Look, starting out as a catch-22. You need the tools to do the job, but you need the job to pay for the tools. I spent my first year in a cabinet shop using a hammer I'd found in a literal dumpster and a saw with more missing teeth than a hockey player. Having a professional kit from day one, that changes the trajectory of your entire career.
And it's not just about the hammers and wrenches anymore. I saw Train Technologies opened a new training center that looks more like a NASA lab than an HVAC school.
Exactly. If you're getting into the trades now, you aren't just a parts changer. You're a systems integrator. You're dealing with smart home logic and ultra-efficient tech. The days of just kicking the furnace until it kicks over are dead. You have to be a bit of a nerd now. It's what makes the job recession-proof. Robots might weld the pipes, but they aren't going to figure out why your smart thermostat is fighting with your heat pump at 3 in the morning.
A bit of a nerd. Coming from the guy who spent 3 hours yesterday researching the specific gravity of different types of sawdust.
Hey, knowledge is the only tool that doesn't take up room in the chest.
Okay, let's talk about the moguls. Everyone wants to turn their garage hobby into a maker empire. But you're telling me that involves taxes and boring stuff?
It's the bitter pill, Alex. Shopify just put out their 2026 guide, and the big takeaway is pre-sale validation. Most makers make the mistake of building 50 of something because they think it's cool. Then they realize the only person who wants a hand-carved Gothic toaster cover is their aunt.
I mean, I'd buy a Gothic toaster cover.
You're the outlier. But the real secret is the Beekman 1800 story. Those guys started with goats and soap. You know how many people sell soap? Everyone. But they didn't sell bubbles. They sold the story of kindness and the farm lifestyle. When you buy their stuff, you're buying into a piece of a world you want to live in.
So you're saying I'm not just buying your lopsided birdhouse, I'm buying your vision of backyard harmony?
Hey, those birdhouses were structurally sound. But yes, if you're a maker, stop selling the what and start explaining the why. If your table is made from a fallen oak on your grandfather's land, that's not just lumber. That's a legacy. People will pay for soul. They won't pay for just another commodity.
All right, let's get practical for the weekend warriors. What's top of the list for the DIY mastery crowd?
If you've got a dead corner in your house, do a built-in desk. It's the highest ROI project you can tackle. A couple of sheets of birch plywood, some clever trim work, and suddenly your clutter corner looks like a high-end library. It adds real equity to the house for the price of a nice dinner out.
And for the people who want to show off?
The cabinet humidor. It's the ultimate flex project. You have to master cabinetry, but you also have to understand environmental sealing and working with Spanish cedar. It's finicky, it's frustrating, and when it's done, It smells better than anything on earth.
Better than the smell of a machine shop after a long day?
Maybe not that good, but it's close.
We've covered a lot today: robots, grants, goat soap, and built ins. What's the one thing people should take into their shops this Monday?
Honestly, don't wait for the perfect setup. Whether you're applying for that $1,500 grant or just trying to figure out why your Shopify page isn't converting, the only way to get better is to get moving. Most people spend so much time sharpening the axe that they never actually swing at the tree. Go swing the axe, make a mess, fix it. That's how you actually learn the craft.
Perfectly said. And if you make a mess, just tell everyone it's atmospheric art.
Works for me. Stay hungry, stay humble, and keep building, folks. We'll see you tomorrow in the den.